Hello, everybody. I'm Landen Traylor, joined by Logan Traylor, Dylan Kearns, and John Richards. And this is the Golden Domers Report. We head into week 3. The Irish, they hammer NC State 45-24. The final score doesn't show how dominant of a performance this was. The Irish were up 45-17 in this ball game. Sam Hartman put up phenomenal numbers, 15 for 24, 286 yards with 4 touchdown passes. Audric Estime with 14 carries, 134 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Holden Styes, 4 receptions for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. The defense was elite, as we've seen all season long. 3 interceptions, allowed just 344 yards and only 84 yards rushing against the Wolfpack. Spencer Schrader was 1 for 2 with a record-setting 54-yard field goal in the first half. And that is where Notre Dame is able to go 3-0 on the season. Big one this week against Central Michigan, but we all know what's coming up after Central Michigan. So with that being said, we'll hold off on the Central Michigan talk. JR, you were sending a text this week. You got to finally rewatch the game. You weren't able to watch it live. You said that this Notre Dame team is special.
They are. I think they have all the makings of a national championship contending team. There seems to be no clear-cut favorite this year. Everybody kind of has some question marks. The SEC seems to be down. Georgia, they have a new quarterback. We have a veteran quarterback. I believe in our veteran quarterback. I believe in our defense. I believe in our coaching staff. I believe in our special teams. This team, I think, can win every single game that they play. They get Ohio State at home. The Southern Cal game is where?
At home.
At home. Clemson is on the road. They are not who maybe everybody thought they were. But, that same weekend, they play Florida State, Free Shoe U. So maybe they get a little bump there. That would help us out, certainly. But after seeing how we played, and the game went pretty much how I anticipated it to go outside of the weather delay and, all of that business. But after watching how we played against what many people believe to be a very sound opponent in North Carolina State, we dominated in all facets, I believe.
It was more than a 21-point victory. I mean, North Carolina State scored within the last 2 minutes of the ball game. It was a 28-point Irish lead. I mean, we were dominating. Logan, what did you think? You got to watch it. What did you think of that ball game there?
The way we came out obviously was upsetting. I think this is a team that's got to, obviously improve coming out the gates ready to go. 2 3 and outs right away. You can't do that, especially against, some of the guys that we play coming up. The preparation, however, I thought was, the game plan, everything that went into it. Freeman talked about it yesterday. It was awesome.
Yeah.
We're prepared for any weather, to affect the game. And, I thought coming out, being able to, hand the ball off and go 80 yards right off of a 2-hour delay, you can't ask for much better. To be honest, I was a little worried just sitting there and waiting for the game to get back going. But, I was more impressed. Obviously, we know what we have with our offense. I think we still have some things to figure out. But, man, our defense is flying and, playing really hard. It's like night and day from what we've been used to these last couple of years, especially within our secondary. DJ Brown had a hell of a game. It's just really refreshing to be able to, watch Notre Dame corners and safeties be able to match up man to man and not get deep beat or get beat deep. That was awesome. Marist, I'm a huge fan of Marist. Thought he had a heck of a game. Just seems like his understanding of the game has improved so much. And I'm really excited. It just has that feeling, kind of like JR said, there's so many question marks so far. A lot of teams have a lot to figure out, but, this team reminds me of that 2012 team that, had good linebackers. They had a couple good safeties, and their defensive line obviously was stellar. And I think, being able to have that defense that can get stops is huge for us. And then obviously, we have a quarterback, which, in college football, if you want to compete for a national championship, you have to have a really good quarterback. And, I thought Hartman did well. Obviously offensive line didn't have the best game I thought they could have had, but for what Hartman's working with, thought he did really well. It was really impressive.
You make a great point. You stole the words right out of my mouth. I was about to compare this defense to the 2012 defense, if not better. In 2012 was a magical season. 2012 did not have a great offense, though. We were obviously carried by our defense. JR, rebuttal there, I see.
Yeah, I think both of you are wrong. I don't think the 2012 defense has the depth or the physicality at all three levels that this team has. There's an aggressiveness, viciousness that this team plays with. Logan, you mentioned Marist. Said this jokingly to one of my friends. Do they let him out of the cage to play the game? He comes out and plays with a ferocity that we have not seen most Notre Dame defenders play with, and that is present at all three levels. I have a little bit of concern of some interior depth on the defensive line, mainly because it's a lot of new faces and there's a lot of youth, a lot of new guys playing there. That's my main concern. But I think this defense, they play with an SEC kind of fly around mentality, a very aggressive nature to them that is, I think, more elite than 2012.
Logan, anything else to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, agree to disagree. I just think the 2012 team, when you look at the defense, they had, a ton of experience. We have a young core. So obviously I would like the same result. We compete for a national championship, but I agree. I mean, I was actually talking to one of my buddies as well about Marist, and it was just like last year it was so upsetting because it looked like he was just a kid that had no idea what he was doing, just flying around, not knowing where to be. And this year he looks like he could, he's one of our best guys. So if not the best. I do agree with the depth on the defensive line. I'm really interested to see what they do. Obviously JD Bertrand's out. Hope to see Drake out there. That's another thing we haven't seen in forever, especially under the BK era, is having so many true freshmen and redshirt sophomores out there, and that's really good to see. That's very promising. Not overlooking this year, but very promising to look over the next 2 to 3 years.
The athleticism of the defense feels different than 20. Defense was staunch and physical and kind of big and ball base. This team feels a little bit different in energy and aggressiveness.
Yeah, athleticism is definitely a big.
No doubt.
For sure. Now, Dylan, you were at Ohio State this past weekend. First of all, awful. Second of all, you probably watched the film on the Irish game. Thoughts on Notre Dame's dominating performance?
I'm going to say it right now, and I have no mincing words here. Notre Dame is the most complete team in college football right now. Every level. They can run the ball. The offensive line's looking pretty solid. The quarterback looks good. And I maybe you call me crazy for this, but I think the one area that you can kind of say maybe you can get beat against good SEC schools is maybe on the outside offensively. I mean, these wide receivers, over the years you've known, all right, these are the guys we got. Maybe it's the unfamiliarity of the Holden Styes or the great houses of all the other outside guys that kind of make me a little bit nervous. But other than that, I think just looking at this team as a whole, you guys mentioned the defense, flying to the ball, all three levels, physicality, depth, everything's there for this team to go on a potential run. And I'm not talking, okay, one win against an NC State changes my perspective. We've seen it every freaking week so far. We're going to see it next week, and we're damn sure going to see it against Ohio State again. And I think that this team shows a ton of potential. There's a lot there, but to Logan's point, I want to bring up two things and relay the message that he said. One, this team's battle-tested, went through adversity. You had a nice little delay. You came out the gate and fired him just freaking right out the cannon. There goes Estime, 80-yard score. Like, you're coming out like that, but the early starts is what concerns me a little bit too. Struggled against Tennessee State in the open. We're like, is this Marshall again for a few drives? And then again here against NC State. So hopefully you can clean that up. But cleaning that up and getting those guys outside open against good opponents, this team's going to be pretty damn special.
I agree 100%.
One thing when was the last time we're up 38 to, I think it was 14, to go and play action and go score it again? You know, any other Notre Dame team, in my opinion, that I've been alive to see, we're running the clock out, we're giving them back the ball. You know, that's what I love about Freeman. We saw a little bit of it last year, but you know, to go and score again and just to be like, all right, you know, there's your knockout punch. We're not letting you hang around. You know, we're gonna blow you out. We're gonna put you down. And you know, that was, you know, as a fan, that's awesome to see. It's not, you know, we're running it up or by any means, but it's just making sure that okay, we're better than you, and we're gonna prove it by putting this in.
Right.
Putting
And
this one.
you know, I hate it because, you know, running up the score. If you don't like it, be better. I mean, it's at the end of the day, be better. If you don't want us to score, stop us. Be better. I hate it when people complain about running up the score. Anyway, now, while it was a great performance on Saturday, we do have to talk about one thing that concerned me. A couple things, actually. The Irish were 5 for 14 on third down. The third down play calling was a little bit shaky in this ball game. You know, there was a 3rd and 2 instead, or 3rd and 1. We run it right up the gut, right into their defense instead of running on the outside where we killed them all game long. Maybe we're not opening the playbook quite yet, just because we were up by so much. Maybe we're hiding a couple things from the Buckeyes or the Suckeyes. And Logan and I were kind of talking about this on Saturday after the game. The O-line struggled a lot in this game. We saw the O-line. Hartman got rocked a couple of times. He lost the ball twice, recovered one, lost a fumble. Maybe Hartman, you know, also with Sam Hartman directly under center, you know, he takes a long time to make a decision there if he's going to hand it off on those option plays or throw it out. So those are just a little areas of concern. Logan, you talked about this, so I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, I mean, we gave up 4 sacks. Obviously, I think to counter your third down, you know, 5 out of 14 or whatever it was, not being able to convert. I think a lot of it has to do with the rhythm of the game. I think, you know, at least it's not a reverse. We're not running a 3rd and 1 and we're running a wide receiver reverse. Thank God. But, you know, at the end of the day, we got to get those. You know, I will say with the RPOs, we run a ton of them. Our wide receivers, Freeman even said it in his press conference, they struggle to get off the line. You know, and that's a big thing. You know, a lot of it, you know, obviously there's a lot of things that have to happen in order to protect the quarterback. It's not just the O-line. The receivers have to get open. You know, Tobias struggled a lot doing that. Just one thing that I was, you know, looking at and recognizing is just like all of it can't be on the offensive line, but there was some, you know, what was the problem was we weren't picking up the blitzes. You know, 2 sacks off the blitz, and then 2 of them, obviously, you know, he's just standing in there. But, you know, at the same time, it's his fault and the wide receiver's fault. We got to get the ball out. And, you know, at the end of the day, Sam's got to protect it no matter what.
Correct. JR, we saw a little bit of a ref show on Saturday afternoon. I was pretty displeased with the officiating. It was a bit of a ref show down there in Raleigh.
Well, it always is. It's, you know, Notre Dame against the world. It's, you know, those things happen, especially when we're on the road. We saw Hartman almost get decapitated, and then a few plays later, you know, nothing. The inconsistency is always going to be there. You see that in the NFL too. We're always going to have something to complain about, but don't let it happen. Don't put the game in the hands of the referees. My biggest concern with the offense is the same as the defense, the interior depth of the offensive line. You know, Coogan and Spindler, that was an interesting battle. Not many people thought that those two would win those jobs.
Right.
We saw them struggle in this game. So, you know, the same concerns on offense. Game starts up front. You win the game in the trenches. So those are my concerns going forward. But the officiating, we're always going to see that.
Right. I will never blame a game on the officiating. Don't put yourselves in a position to do that at the end of the day. Yeah. Biggest concerns, one big concern going forward for the Irish here.
You know, you kind of alluded to it a little bit with I don't know. I like I said, I still think it's the start. I think it's starting out games strong. I think that's the one area where you really need to focus on doing that. I think One thing that I've seen this year, which is an improvement from last year, is Freeman's halftime adjustments. I think last year, when especially that Ohio State game to start the year, obviously his second coaching game, but his first two games as a head coach, he looks good in the first half, and then the second half, bam, you just get your ass kicked. So now it's like, okay, but I've seen better halftime adjustments by Freeman. I've seen better in-game decision making from him. So I think that was something coming into the year that I wanted to see change, and he's done a good job of doing that. But in terms of concern, I don't see anything personnel-wise. I see something more of, okay, how do you put points on the board early in the game and make sure you get touchdowns?
Absolutely. Time now for our play of the game. It has to be Sam Hartman to Holden Styes on second down for a 40-yard tiptoe touchdown in the third quarter. It was a 7-point game at that point. NC State kind of was on a little rally in Raleigh. Boom. Hartman, Styes, tiptoe, stays on his feet, scores a touchdown. And the player of the game as well, it has to be Audric Estime. I mean, a 2-hour weather delay. Boom, first play, 80 yards. He set the tone for the rest of the game. Right from that moment, you knew Notre Dame. I never had any doubts that Notre Dame was going to lose that ball game. Right out of the weather delay, 80 yards, score a touchdown. We're here. Like, we're Notre Dame. We're out. Like, we're here. No rebuttals there. So, last thing I'll say on NC State here, we passed our first test. Get the kinks out this week against a MAC school. I'm happy to be 3-0, though. Everybody agree with that?
Yeah, especially the way we have played. Dylan touched on some of these things earlier, coming out of halftime and, decision making and all of these things relate to trusting the quarterback. Aggressive play calling at the end of halves, aggressive play calling throughout the game. We have a quarterback that we can trust, that can make plays throughout the game, that can make throws, that isn't really limited, that has a very high IQ. So systematically, all of these things are a result of our leadership at the quarterback position. And it carries through systemically all the way through the top.
Right. When's the last time you saw Notre Dame run a 2-minute drill before halftime? Halftime. We're not talking at the end of the game. Halftime. I'm really impressed. I mean, at the end of halftime, we've scored about every single time that we've had the ball before the half. Time now for week 2 notes. We'll start here. Is the Alabama dynasty over, or is Texas back? We'll start with Logan, Dylan, and then JR to these points I'm making.
I watched that Texas game. Bama is going to be Bama. They might drop one, but there's no question in my mind that they're going to be, up for the CFP when it's all said and done after these 12 games are done. They're going to be competing for an SEC championship. You can't – it's like saying you might disagree. You have the best coach to ever coach the game of football. I think a lot of it has to do is Saban going to, really take a step back and look at the offense. Obviously, they struggled at certain times, but I don't want to. It's a trap. Like, okay, Bama's done, the dynasty's done. I don't think that's the case. I think Texas is a really good football team, and Sark coached his butt off. I mean, let's be very honest. I thought all around Texas was the better football team, better coached that game, but. As far as Texas being back, I think I want to say they're back, but I will still say that I'm not going to be shocked if they're, sitting at 11-1 or 12-0 after, that game Saturday night.
Dylan?
I also can't overreact to that too much. I feel like you say Texas is back in every single GDR show we've had in existence, whether we're picking them and you're like, Texas is back, here we go. But no, realistically, I think as long as Nick Saban's at Alabama, they're not done. The dynasty's not over. It's Coach K, led Duke. It's all this stuff, all this stuff going on. As long as the coach is there, nothing's going to change. He's done this for years over at Alabama, and nothing's going to change from that. I didn't like turnover Tommy's play calling in that game. But that said, I will say the dynasty's not done. Texas, are they back? I don't know. We talk about it every year and every week. They gotta ride the course. They got to get out the rest of the year, but they're in a good spot right now in the top 4.
John Richards?
I think I'm going to take a little different path on this question. I think this is a reflection of the times and NIL. I think Saban is a little bit behind in times, and NIL has spread the wealth, so to speak, around college football. And now Bama isn't what Bama was. They're still very obviously top 5 program. They have the best coach, all of those things. But watching that game, I'll tell you the big difference between Bama and ND. Bama don't have a quarterback, and Notre Dame does. They have a quarterback that they don't know. Hey, they don't know which quarterback to play. The quarterback that they are playing, they don't trust. Texas, they came up. They're better, yeah, but I don't think that it's impressive winning in Bama. Don't get that wrong.
At night.
But yeah, at night. But again, Bama. How many games did Bama lose last year? 4?
3, I think. 3.
3? Okay. I think Saban is on the decline. He's still one of the greatest coaches and probably the best coach. They're going to respond. They're going to be in the hunt. They're going to be around. But how many games have they lost now in the last 4 months of the playing calendar? 4 games now. I think this is a deeper sign of the times in NIL.
Yeah, I'm excited for the 3rd Saturday in October. Tennessee at Alabama. That's going to be one heck of a ball game. Cincinnati beats Pittsburgh. Narduzzi, a little bit of a letdown. He gets rolled at home against Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's a little surprise team. They might surprise a lot of people in the Big 12 this season. I'm excited to see this Cincy team in the Big 12. Now, I don't usually do this. I don't like to admit when I'm wrong, but Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. I apologize. I apologize to Coach Prime.
That's soft.
I'm not all in on Colorado. I'm not all in on Coach Prime, but I was wrong. You guys were right. You guys are smart. I'm stupid. You guys are better looking. I'm ugly. Shout out to Happy Gilmore. Schedule is going to get a little tougher for Colorado. Excited to see how they respond. 2-0. They need a little attitude adjustment, I think, though. Yeah, that's all I'll say. Illinois is strong.
Can I throw something out there about Colorado?
Yeah.
Okay. I know this is very, 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 very far-fetched. What if they win the damn thing?
No,
I'm just saying. Like, would this be the craziest story in sports history if Colorado goes from the horseshit town that they were, not the horseshit town, the program that they were?
I think
Prime comes in and wins a national championship.
1-11 to 15-0. Yeah, they'd have to win out. If they drop one game, they're done. I hope you understand that. So
it would be the greatest story in college football history.
Oh, they drop one. Why would they be done?
If they drop with their remaining schedule, if they drop one game with the other teams, I think there's no way a one-loss Colorado team makes it.
Pac-12 the best conference in the country
right now.
They're
going to beat.
Let's return to planet Earth.
Thank you. I think the Pac-12 is going to beat themselves out of a college football playoff, to be honest with you. I really do. They're going to beat themselves out of a playoff. Illinois, they're struggling right now. They're 1-1, barely beat Toledo, and then they get pounded this week. Belima, that era might be over quickly down there in Champaign. Ohio State. Dylan, we saw them struggle against Indiana. I won't say they struggled against Youngstown State, but they did not look like past Ohio State teams. Last year's Ohio State team beats Youngstown State by 60.
Mm-hmm. I got back to the newsroom after that game, and I was sitting there, and I said, you know what? They didn't beat their ass. That's a team where you need to go in there and you need to pound them. You know, the Ryan days of the years past. That's a 78-10. Oh, Ohio State got it done. They whooped the Penguins' tail. It was 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. 7-7. Or not the end of the first quarter, but it was still like 7-7 with like 5 minutes left. Like they were competing hard. And I don't understand.
And that file was BS.
Yes, I agree with that.
Internet.
But look at this, like the quarterback situation. If you're gonna do it half and half. You can't pull a guy from the rhythm. I think Kyle McCord looked like the better quarterback. When he was in the game, he was poised making throws. When Devin Brown was in the game, he was anxious, trying to make extra plays. He missed Ibuka right behind him on a slot play or a slant. He just couldn't connect with his receivers. So I think you got to go to McCord. You got to just trust that, all right, we have to pick one of them and then move forward with what you got going on. Marv's going to get open.
Oh, yes, he is. He's the best receiver in college football. I mean, there's no way he's not going to get open. Utah, they sneak by now 0-2 Baylor. This was a Baylor team that 2 years ago, they were in contention for the college football playoff. They had a losing record last year, and now they look awful. They almost shocked Utah, but Utah wins a win week 2. App State and North Carolina came down to 2 overtimes. I took Appalachian State to upset North Carolina. They lost in 2 overtimes. North Carolina, this game always is good. I'm telling you, App State, UNC. JR said, not this year, UNC. Whew. App State always finds a way. I'll tell you what, Wisconsin, they look awful against Washington State. It's tough to redesign a program like Luke Fickell's trying to do. It might not be good here in the Big Ten. The U is now 2-0 after beating the most expensive team in college football. Jimbo paid all that money to lose to Miami every year. His seat's getting a little toasty there. And Iowa, they win 20-13 over Iowa State. They did not meet their 25-point target. -1 for the head coach. He's on double secret probation now in Iowa. And Mel Tucker is the story of the day right now. He is currently suspended at Michigan State indefinitely, meaning when this investigation is over, he's going to get the boot. He might even find some jail time, to be honest with you, if everything that I've read goes to plan there for him. So not good at Michigan State. Not good at all. So there is your week 2 notes. A fun and interesting week 2. It's time now to talk about the Central Michigan Chippewas. They are 1-1 this year. They do have a 31-7 loss at Michigan State in week 1. Then they turn around and beat New Hampshire 45-42. Burt Emanuel Jr., what a name. 18 for 36 this season with 280 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also leads the team in rushing yards, 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. They only have 659 total yards in 2 games, and their defense is non-existent, Logan.
Yeah, the quarterback's definitely athletic. Scares me a little bit. Get Toledo vibes out of this game.
Yeah.
So just, I think all we got to be focused on is preparation. Make sure that, we're ready to go and do your job. I think if we come out, we do what we do and play the way we have the last 3 games, we're not going to be worried about it. Sam will be on the bench probably, hopefully, midway 3rd quarter, and we'll be getting ready to go for Ohio State.
Toledo vibes, hand wave. Dylan?
Get in, get out. Get a win, stay healthy, find a way. Emmanuel, he's got the legs. They run the ball a lot. They ground and pound. It's going to be a little bit more Navy than anything else that we've seen, but I think just making sure you're staying strong in your pursuit with tackling, making those smart plays, don't mess up with stupid penalties or anything like that. Load up the score here, kick their ass, and then get ready for next week.
JR?
They're going to play extremely hard and physical. Jim McElwain is a very good coach. He coached at Florida. He coached at Colorado State. He's a veteran guy. This is not a Toledo, though. This is a middle-of-the-road MAC team. They're going to have issues on both sides of the ball. But this is a dangerous, situation. It's definitely a look-ahead game and a look-ahead spot. So like we always say, get in, get out, keep your health. Put the Maction hat away. We see that. Testicle Tech, they got rolled too. So, Notre Dame's going to do what they do to this team, and then we're going to get ready for Zero State.
Hey, come on
I
now.
don't want to say Notre Dame's a prison inmate game, but, this fits the mold.
Right. My key to the game here is stay focused for 60 minutes. We all know what's next week. All right. We get it. It's Zero State at home, green jerseys, under the lights, prime time in South Bend. Let's just stay focused for 60 minutes, get in, beat their butts, get ready for Zero State. I think we all alluded to that in a way. So we'll move to the injury report here. JD Bertrand is on the concussion protocol. He's to be determined. Marcus Freeman said yesterday he's day by day to be determined. Yeah, he's probably gonna. I wouldn't play him. Maybe for one drive.
Sit him.
No.
Freeman said he was out.
Play him.
He said it was to be determined. I read the transcript. It said to be determined. But anyway, Gabriel Rubio, he is out. Eli Raridon is out. And Devin Ford is expected to play. You remember the Tennessee State game? He dropped that ball and got rocked. So he is expected to play for the Irish. Maybe he'll be taking some punt returns instead of Chris Tyree. I mean, Tyree, fair catch. Call him fair catch Tyree. Goodness gracious. All right, time now for the week 3 picks. Bethune-Cookman at number 22, Miami, Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. on the ACC network. Yeah, I'll just save us all some time. Miami's gonna roll. It's all about the U. JR, what is that?
Did they graduate to a capital U after beating A&M?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. This would be good timing for Jimbo Fisher to have a sexual assault charge brought up against him. He was just in Miami. He's owed a lot of money. It'd be a good move, A&M. Go ahead, go for it.
Good Lord. Number 33, Florida State at Boston College, 12 p.m. on ABC. Florida State favored by 25.5.
Reshoe you.
Give me the Seminoles.
No more Jerko. We're going Florida State, baby.
Yeah, I got Florida State. I think they cover as well. Boston College, they're a dumpster fire. Number 7, Penn State at Illinois, 12 p.m. on Fox. The last time these two teams met, it went into like 7 overtimes.
Yeah, 8 overtimes. I watched Illinois. They're going to have trouble keeping up with Tickle Me Sandusky. Penn State, I like their quarterback. The one thing that's always going to hold Penn State back, though, is their coach. So I'll say it. Penn State will win, but they're pretenders.
Give me the Lions. Nittany Lions.
I'll take the Big Ten champs, Nittany Lions.
I'll take Penn State as well. I think Illinois covers in this one, though. 14.5. Penn State is favored. Number 14, LSU at Mississippi State, 12 p.m. on ESPN. The Tigers are favored by 9.5 on the road.
This is a tough spot for Mississippi State. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to give them a game. They might pull this off, but I'm going to go with I'll go with the gumbo. Give me BK, even though I hear his players are talking smack to him on the sideline.
Give me BK.
Have a your way.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I was about to say BK, have it your way. I think LSU wins in a tight one, 9.5. I think Mississippi State covers. Number 15, Kansas State at Missouri, 12 p.m. on the SEC network. Interesting games. K-State only favored by 5 on the road.
Yeah, K-State played pretty well last week against Troy. They put up, I think, 42 and only gave up 16. It's a dangerous game, though. I'll stick with K-State, though.
Who are they playing?
Missouri.
Give me K-State.
I'll take
This game
Missouri.
Are you taking?
Not a bad pick.
Missouri.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the SEC here. I got Mizzou at home. At home against a Big 12 team. I like Missouri in this ball game to win, and I think they're going to sneak into the top 25 with a win against K-State this week. All right, Louisville versus Indiana, 12 p.m. on the Big Ten Network in Lucas Oil Stadium. The Cardinals are favored by 10. That's nice.
Brom against Pastor Allen. We committed to Frosted Flakes, Taven Jackson. This is, I know we have a new segment coming up. Logan, you may want to lean towards this because Louisville.
Yeah. I like this game, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy. Louisville has a ton of question marks as well. It's a game that scares me on Notre Dame's schedule. However, Jeff Brom does a really good job. I think Louisville wins, but I have the Hoosiers covering the 10.
I'm going to say Louisville by a lot.
Louisville covers. Louisville covers. Mercy me. Yeah, come on. He has one more win left in the.
Let's switch it. I'll go Hoosiers. Just give me IU.
Oh my god.
And that's gonna be one I'm gonna try to steal.
Oh,
Give me pass. I'll go to church Sunday if he wins.
that's the first. Are you allowed in a church? I'm going.
Find out.
I'm going Louisville.
Touchdown, Jesus.
I'm going Louisville here. Mercy me. He has about one more win in the tank this year, and that's against Akron in a couple of weeks. So Weber State at number 12, Utah. I'll save us all some time. We're all going to Utah.
It's pronounced Weber State, but yeah, Utah.
Thank you, Justin Prince. South Carolina at number 1, Georgia. 3:30 p.m. on CBS.
This will be a better game than people think. I'm telling you, Georgia's got some issues. I'll stick with them, but keep an eye on this one.
Give me Georgia.
Upset of the week. Cox. Why do you think I wore the shirt?
Georgia
Big Cox fan.
Yeah. Georgia favored by 27.5 points at home. Eesh, man. South Carolina was a big letdown against North Carolina. I think they're going to have a big letdown in this one. I think Georgia rolls in this one. Give me Uga. JR might be suspended from the show here. Number 10, Alabama at South. He might get us taken down. He might get us taken down from YouTube. Number 10, Alabama at South Florida, 3:30 on ABC. Bama's favored by 32 points. Little get right game.
Yeah, get right game. Bama
kicks their ass. We'll see Buckner in this one.
Yeah, I got Bama as well. I think they cover the 32 as well, too, on the road. It's their first true non-conference road game since I saw a tweet about it the other day. I can't remember the team they play, but it's been a long time since Alabama's played a non-conference road game this early on in the season. San Diego State at number 16, Oregon State at 3:30 on Fox Sports 1. Oregon State has favored by 24.5.
I like Oregon State. They're going to be in the top 10. Now we see maybe it wasn't DJ Uiagalelei Biaval, whoever spells name. Blah, 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 blah. He's playing pretty well. So I like Oregon State.
And it's
Give me
not
the Beavers.
Yeah, I'll take the Wheel of Fortune quarterback.
the Wheel of Fortune quarterback. I got Oregon State in this one as well. Like JR said, it wasn't Uiagalelei that was the problem at Clemson. Maybe Dabo was. You know, my grandpa Bob said that he thinks the players are done playing for Dabo. They didn't look good at all against Charleston Southern.
Another guy that is having issues clearly with NIL.
Yeah, he is. Number 19, Oklahoma at Tulsa, 3:30 p.m. on ESPN2.
Oh, one mobile home park knocking on the other one's door. Let's go, mobile home.
Boomer Sooner.
I'll give them some respect at 2-0. I'll say Oklahoma. Not mobile home for a joke.
Mobilehoma. Jokelahoma, Mobilehoma, whatever you want to say. They're going to roll. Minnesota at
They got a gutsy quarterback.
Yeah. Minnesota at number 20, North Carolina, 3:30 p.m. on ABC. North Carolina -7.5.
Wait a minute. What is this? Minnesota at North Carolina.
Yeah.
Huh. Fleck rowing the boat down the Appalachian, down to UNC, huh? Let's go UNC.
Oh, give me the Tar Heels. 7.5.
I love this show. UNC.
Man, I'll tell you what. This is going to be a good game. This is going to be
It will be a good game.
North Carolina ends up pulling away, though, I think. It's going to be a good game. Northwestern at number 21, Duke, 3:30 p.m. on the ACC network. Duke -18.5.
Oh boy, study tables before and after the game. I'll go Duke.
Duke.
Okay.
Here we go. All right, so we found it. Yeah, Duke.
Nerd Ball.
Sorry. Rodgers tore his AC or his Achilles out for the year.
Yep.
Zoned out there.
Isn't that a shame? Nerd Bowl. Give me Duke. Western Michigan at number 25, Iowa. Iowa favored by -28.5. They might not even score 28.
Yeah, Iowa. Nice win for them last week, but they're not. Leopard doesn't change his spots, that's for sure.
Give me Iowa.
I don't know where these come from, but they're good, John. Just keep them coming. I like them. We'll go with we'll go Iowa, but they're not going to hit that 28.5. You kidding me?
Yeah, I like Iowa, but I think Western Michigan covers. I don't think Iowa scores 28, to be honest with you. Western Kentucky at number 6, Ohio State. This game is at 4 p.m. on Fox. The Buckeyes are favored by 28. We're all going Ohio State, but I want to know, do they cover? JR, they cover?
Happened here. What happened there? Lost you for a minute.
All right, we got Western Kentucky at number 6, Ohio State. The Buckeyes are favored by 28. Do they cover?
No.
All right, I'm gonna make a star there. Logan?
28's a lot of points. A get right game for them as well. I say they do.
He says they do. Dylan?
I don't want to say that everybody picks Ohio State. I'm taking Western Kentucky here. But don't clip this after. If it does happen, don't clip it.
Wow.
We do not want that to happen.
I
know
want
we don't.
undefeated Ohio State.
We cannot have that happen. It's a look-ahead game for Notre Dame, and it's a look-ahead game for Ohio State, but it's a much tougher task for Ohio State than it is for Notre Dame. I'll say that.
Western Kentucky has put up 45-plus points the first 2 games. They have a very good offense. They got returning receivers. They're going to score points. If the Penguins can waddle up and down the field on Ohio State a couple times, I'm just saying.
Wow.
That's a ballsy pick. Hey, I like it.
Dylan, can I ask you, was there a little bit pullback because of the vest? Was he passing out gold pants and free tattoos? Was it free tattoo day at the shoe?
What do you mean?
Well, he was back. He was wearing his vest. It had the Youngstown and the Ohio State on the side. And, were they being respectful? It certainly didn't look that way in the first half. Again, that personal foul call on that late hit out of bounds, that changed the the complexion of that first half. Otherwise, it could have been a game at halftime. But
Yeah.
you know, a lot of adoration for the Vests down there. So
I don't think so. I think this is a team that can't blow anybody out. They
I would
not do it.
Yeah, they got issues at quarterback. This is what I hear up here. They're a 3-loss team this year. They have an identity issue, and they want to be a finesse team, but that is not Ohio State football. They are a running, ground and pound, smash mouth, physical football team. And right now they're trying to get away from that. They're kind of being finesse. Ryan Day, that's the feeling in the tide turning between Michigan and Ohio State. Michigan's more of the power running game, physical identity. Ohio State.
Ryan Day's pressers at noon, and I fully expect him to say he still wants to try the 2 quarterback thing. And I don't think
he is even talking a little bit differently, like, talking about scoring points and, the object is to win the game. You could sense pressure is getting to him a little bit. He has changed his dialogue and his message after these first few weeks.
All right. I'm going with the Buckeyes, and along with everybody else, Ohio State covers, guys. I think they whoop up on them, to be honest with you. Get right game. But, Dylan, it could happen. All right, number 8, Washington at Michigan State, 5 p.m. on Peacock. This was going to be an interesting matchup. Washington now has jumped out to a 16-point favorite on the road.
I still expect it. I think these things usually work in the favor of the team who's facing the adversity. I think they're going to rebound, especially with D'Antoni back in the fold. I'm going to take Washington, but it's their first time on the road. They're going to play a little bit more physical team. They're going to be up for it. What time's this game? It's night?
5 p.m. evening.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll go Washington. I like Penix a lot.
Me too.
I love this Washington team. I'll keep saying it. Give me the Huskies. Give me them to cover.
Yeah, Washington.
Washington. I love Michael Penix. I love him. He's a dark
Penix on the Peacock.
He's a dark horse Heisman candidate for me, to be honest with you guys right here. These next 2 picks are gimme picks. Northern Colorado at number 23, Washington State. We all going Wazoo, I'm assuming. Just give me a little head nod. All right. North Carolina Central at number 24, UCLA. We're all going USLA, Chip Kelly. All righty.
Yep.
Glad we got that covered. Hawaii at number 13, Oregon. Ooh.
Oregon with the miracle cover last week. Did you see that, Logan?
I did not.
Woo! Oh, man. Threw a pick 6, like 30 seconds to go to cover.
I saw it on Twitter.
Man, like
I didn't watch the game.
I'll go Oregon here.
I'll go Ducks too.
Quack, quack.
I got Oregon in this one as well. That was amazing. I was watching that because it was a good game. I think it was a 1-point game or something.
It was a good game. Yeah.
Pick 6 and they covered. There's no doubt in my mind he knew.
Yeah.
He knew.
What was the spread? Like 7.5?
It was depending on where you were at. I was in a pool and I hit my weekly pick 'em. I keyed Oregon. It was 6.5.
Oh wow.
Oh goodness. Georgia Tech at number 17, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Lane Train. We got anything to say? Does the Lane Train have anything to say to Prime?
Prime is stealing the spotlight from Lane Train. I don't think Lane Train likes that.
Give me the Lane Train.
That'd be a great bowl game. The Lane Train versus Prime Time.
Yeah, good old Mississippi.
Yeah, I got Ole Miss as well. Georgia Tech, they look good against Louisville, but then they just fell apart in that second half and lost the game. So here's a tough one. 11, Tennessee at Florida, 7 p.m. on ESPN. Tennessee's only favored by 6.5 points.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't trust Florida Florida enough. I like the Tennessee mentality. Milton, man, that dude, he is wild to watch. I mean, when he's on, that my man can sling it. I'll stick with Tennessee here, but Florida gonna play. It's gonna be tight games.
Yeah, I can't trust Florida like JR said. I'm going to piggyback off of him, take Tennessee, take them to cover.
It merged so bad. He still pisses me off for missing my parlay week 1. Screw Florida, go U of T.
Yeah, Billy Napier, he's on double secret probation in Gainesville right now. I got Tennessee running away with this one, 6.5. They cover that as well. Bowling Green at number 2, Michigan, 7:30 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. Michigan's favored by 40.5. I will say this. They don't look that impressive as they have in the last 2 years against their first 2 opponents, I will say.
Oh, I disagree. They look really good, in my opinion.
Well,
yeah, I think a lot of that probably by design, even though they haven't covered the last 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go Michigan.
I'm going to Michigan.
Is Harbaugh working the chain gang at the Carroll Charger game this week?
Yeah, we're giving him a free cheeseburger.
Is he in the booth? Khaki night in the booth. Landen and Harbaugh.
No.
Khaki fest. A khaki fest.
Prime allowed up there too?
No chains. No chains in the press box.
Yeah, I'll take Michigan. I don't think they cover. They haven't covered twice because they put the backups in at half. So, but really like this Michigan team.
Wolverines.
Now, Logan, I'm going to call you a little hypocrite then, because you have texted me the first 2 weeks and told me Michigan has not looked impressive.
Not last week. First week, they didn't look good. First half.
Are you eating?
I'm pulling
Prize.
up the script. I didn't save. Crap. Michigan. Wyoming at number 4, Texas, 8 p.m. Texas minus 28.5. Might be a little letdown.
A little bit of a letdown.
And don't forget, Wyoming upset Texas Tech, who probably had Oregon beat. Correct. So I'm gonna stick with Texas, but they're gonna read their press clippings here. How would you like to be Arch though? Does Arch transfer? Because people are saying he might be the 3rd best quarterback on that team now. He ain't stepping on the field after Ewers just beat Bama.
Arch to Alabama.
Oh man,
Arch to ND.
Hey,
yeah, listen. This is another. Well, I'll go ahead. We'll save that for the ND game.
That's an emergency podcast.
I got
Arch to the Hoosiers. Going to play for the pastor.
Oh my God!
Give me the horn.
Literally.
JR, you hate that man. I'll tell you that. You hate that guy.
Who?
Pastor Talon? Yeah.
No, I think he's a great defensive coordinator. I just don't think he's a head coach. I just, he's done a lot of things since he lost Penix and DeBoer, and I mean, I don't know. Just don't get me started. It's not worth the time.
Colorado State at number 18. Colorado. Actually, this game is at Mile High Stadium. My apologies. In Denver, Colorado. Colorado favored by 23. 10 p.m. on ESPN, by the way.
I'll take Colorado. But Colorado State's going to show up. They're tired of listening to all about Dion, probably like Landen is.
Landen likes him now.
Give me Prime.
What we can do. What was I gonna say here? Obviously, I'm picking them. Oh, this is a head nod pick. Just across the board, Colorado.
I got Colorado as well. I think they cover too. Yeah, I'm not in love with Prime, Dylan, as you said. I mean, I accept it.
He can't say that you're him. He's trying. The words are there, Landen. Spit them out.
Prison inmate games. We got 2 games this week. Syracuse at Purdue, 7:30 p.m. on NBC. The Orange.
That's sick.
The Orange are favored by 2.5. What's sick?
That game is sick.
Who did Purdue beat last week?
Freaking Virginia Tech.
Yeah, they had a good win. That was another game that was delayed for like that game was delayed. Yeah.
6 hours.
Yeah, I was wondering how long ND was going to get delayed for. I was like, man, I'm going to be able to go to my kids' fall baseball game and come home and still watch the game. But Purdue, where's this game at?
The Dump.
Yeah.
It should be with West Lafayette, right?
It is the Dump.
You going, Logan? Saddle up Humbarger?
No.
I'll go Purdue. I'll go Purdue.
Put Humbarger on the top of the car going to West Lafayette.
It's sick.
What a manka.
Make it a submarine.
Your wheels would be scraping the concrete.
Did Syracuse won this last year, right? Really good game, though.
Correct, on the last drive.
Yeah, give me I hate to do it. Give me the Purdue, but I love watching this game because it's so ugly, but it's such a good game.
Yeah, I'll enjoy it. It's on NBC. It'll be pushing us on 11 p.m. newscast, but I'll sit back, I'll watch it, and I'll enjoy the Boilermakers upset the Orange, if you call it an upset.
Purdue at home. You know that place, I call it a dump, but it is going to be rocking. It's going to be sold out. The student section is going to be going crazy. I like Purdue in this ball game. Now, don't quote me on this. I hate to say this, but I don't think Purdue is going to be as bad as everybody says they're going to be. I really like their offense this year, to be honest with you. Now, their defense is another story. Virginia Tech. Again, we have two prison inmates of the day. Virginia Tech at Rutgers, 3:30 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. Rutgers is favored by 6.5 points at home.
Yeah, Vautech. I just worry about their offense. I'll go Rutgers. I'll go Shiano.
Give me Rutgers.
I'll take Rutgers.
I'm going with Virginia Tech in this one. I think get a little bounce back game. I think they're pretty upset with their performance last week. They had Purdue on the ropes. They had it tied. They had a lead. I like Virginia Tech. Our non-ranked game of the week. This is going to decide these two seasons. I'm going to say it right now. The winner of this game is going to be decent. The loser of this game is going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Tumble and fall. Pitt at West Virginia, 7:30 on ABC. Pitt is favored by 1.
Did you hear what Jerkovic said at the presser?
Mm-mm.
He was asked about the fans booing. Yeah, he's caused a big stir. I'm going to go West Virginia.
Give me the Mountaineers.
I'll take the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Pitt too. They lost last week, yes. I think they bounced back on the road against West Virginia. This is a rivalry game. This crowd's going to be rocking. This crowd is going to be something. Pitt and West Virginia, they played last year at Pitt. And I think West Virginia got a pick 6 for the win. Going to be a good game. I think Pitt sneaks through in Morgantown and gets through. All right, Central Michigan at number 9, Notre Dame, 2:30 p.m. on Peacock. Jack Collinsworth back in the booth with Jason Garrett. We're all going Notre Dame, but I want to know the final score. We'll start JR. We'll go where we have them.
I'm gonna go. Let's go Notre Dame 48, Central Michigan 13.
I'm going to go 52-10.
I'm going to go 38-13.
I'm going the Irish 49-10. They cover. We all have them covering. They're favored by 34 points in this ball game, except Dylan. Dylan has us has Central Michigan covering. All right. So that does it here for week 3 of the Golden Domers Report. The Irish take on Central Michigan at 2:30 p.m. on Peacock. on Saturday. As always, go Irish, beat Chippewas.